Hello. Earlier this summer, I had I had a small series of economic disasters, including emergency oral surgery, a broken down car, several toes, and and a bear eating two chickens, two of my family pets. So that one didn't cost a lot of money besides some extra fencing. But of course, we'll have to think about how we're going to keep the bears out in the future. So maybe we're going to be spending more money on an electric fence. I don't know. In any case, that little series of disasters prompted me to make an episode for you about emergency savings, which are a key component of not getting into big financial trouble when you have little unpleasant surprises, such as I have recently had. And then the week after that, last week, I talked to you about personal finance. This was a review. I've talked about it before, but it's always a good thing to review. So I'm really happy for you to listen to it again. If the last time you heard me talk about it was a year ago. I think once a year is probably a good thing. And so today I want to give you the third installment of this little mini series on the basics of personal finance and bring you an episode that's about the attitude side, the sort of concepts behind personal finance that help make it possible and help kind of get your mindset in the right place. Because it's easy to know what to do, but how to do it, how to get your brain rooting for you, this is harder. So I'm going to bring you, today I'm bringing you another article that I wrote. And again, this article originally appeared in the art blog called Art F City, published by Patty Johnson. She was my editor at Art F City when I was a writer there. Later, she's moved on to a really wonderful program called Network, which I highly recommend to any artists out there looking for career advancement, especially if you are mid-career. Patty's amazing, but she's an incredible editor, and really I credit her with helping me become a much better writer because she is so incisive. So this article I wrote, Patty edited. It originally appeared in her blog, Art F City. And I'm here to give it to you today because this is really, last week I gave you the personal finance order of operations. This week, this is the attitude adjustment. So here goes. This is called the personal finance attitude adjustment. I outlined last week the basics of a personal finance plan. The outline is the what to do, where I answer questions about insurance, debt management, savings, and investments. If you haven't listened to that episode, I recommend going back in your feed and taking a listen because it provides the foundation for getting your proverbial ducks in a row. But right now, I'd like to get into the how to do it part. This part is about the mindset to get yourself on track. There are a lot of general principles for good financial health, but what I outline below are the most time tested. Since what I'm talking about here is more about attitude, this is the part where you make adjustments and decide for yourself what works best for you. Number 1, spend less than you earn. It feels stupid to even say that. It's so obvious. But I mention it because this is a key to financial health, and many people, maybe even most people, don't do it. In fact, it's so easy to say and hard to do that I often compare it to talking about the path to enlightenment through meditation. Focus on your breathing, not on your thoughts. Sounds like a breeze, but it is equally difficult to execute. To break down this simple idea, spending less than you earn has two sides to it. One, you can either work on earning more, or two, you can work on spending less. For the cutting your spending part, which is usually easier and more immediate, I have some thoughts. Here's a concrete idea. Keep a journal of what you spend. I first did this in a little sketchbook I carried with me, but you can do the electronic version using an app like Mint or a spending tracker. Just be sure it includes everything, including all the little items you pay for in cash, like coffee. If you've ever done dieting, you know that it works. The simple act of observing where your money goes can change some of the bad habits right off the bat. The apps are even nicer because you can go deeper by looking at the trends and categories that you spend the most on. And from there, it helps you make assessments about where your money is going and whether that lines up with your priorities. I don't want to be a scold and tell you not to drink lattes at your favorite coffee shop anymore. Everyone has special pleasures they really love spending money on, and it is not my goal to guilt you out of those. In the pre-COVID days, I enjoyed a $5 coffee in a nice coffee shop as I wrote articles like this one, and indeed, it is a pleasure. But some of the stuff we spend money on is actually mindless and could be cut out without much pain, like, for example, ATM fees. This is good stuff to know. The point is that taking a good look at where your money is actually getting spent can help you make sure that your spending lines up with your priorities. And of course, if you're in a more hunkered down emergency mode of cost cutting, and most of us have been there, certainly myself included, then there are times when cutting out pleasures is warranted too. Next, you can afford anything, but you can't afford everything. It's easy to look at budgeting as self-denial, but a better way to look at it is as priority setting. Budgets can empower you to do the things you want to in life. You want to quit your job and spend 5 months hiking the Appalachian Trail? You can save enough to do that. You want to buy the laser cutter that will bring your silkscreen business to the next level? You can do that. You want to drink artisanal cocktails with your friends at the hottest bars 5 nights a week? Awesome. But can you do all three of those things at the same time? Probably not. You can do the big thing you want to do with your money, but you can't do all of the big things. You need to be clear on your priorities because for most people, those are the only things that are guaranteed to be funded. So line up your financial priorities. And when you've been tracking your spending for a little while, take a look at what your actual spending is. The point is to match the priorities with the actual spending. Principle number 2, pay yourself first. This is an extension of the last idea, priorities. If you have a priority spending list with 10 items on it, you will likely run out of money before you fund numbers 9 and 10. That's the reality for most people. There just isn't enough money for everything. But too many people put caring for their long-term financial stability at the end of the month to fund, but too many people put caring for their long-term financial stability last. They pay all their other bills first and think that they will use whatever is left over at the end of the month to fund their emergency fund, pay off their credit card debt, and fund their retirement and other savings. The reality is that this method rarely sets anyone up for financial well-being because by the time those bills are all paid, there isn't money left. Don't do this. So make your own financial security a priority and fund it first. The last items on your priority list will never get funded. It's a small attitude shift that makes a big difference. Put money from your paycheck into your credit card debt or retirement savings, and then use the rest for rent, bills, and entertainment. You will likely find that to do this, you need to cut out a little more of your spending than you might have expected. That's normal. The idea is to look at what that healthy spending number actually is, and work with what you have. It may send you back to your priority list again. You may decide that to actually fund your savings at a good level, you need your expenses to be even lower or your pay to be even higher. Perhaps this means that you ask for a raise. Perhaps it means you move to a lower cost area or shop around for a cheaper cell phone plan. Discovering that you've been living beyond your means and making adjustments can feel really hard, but don't get down on yourself. Addressing it is a huge accomplishment. Be proud of those first big steps. All right, everybody, that is my article, and that concludes this 3-part mini-series on personal finance. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you want to go back to the first one, it is the one about emergency savings, 3 episodes ago. So you can listen to all 3. They're not really in an order that you need to listen to them in order, so you can listen here first and go backwards. but I hope you listen to the other two. All right. Let me know if that appealed to you. And as always, if you are interested in really digging in on personal finance issues, which I teach inside my program, Money Bootcamp, and I also teach you how to invest. I teach you how to use tax advantage accounts to make your money go further. And of course, I teach you the tax stuff like tax planning, setting up bookkeeping. I give you a spreadsheet bookkeeping system and train you on how to use it, and teach you how to pay your estimated quarterly taxes. So if you're interested in my program, Money Bootcamp, you can get that at sunlighttax.com/moneybootcampimpact. That's sunlighttax.com/moneybootcampimpact. And if you're interested in watching a free 1-hour class where I talk about the growth curve of compound interest, I show you kind of what the math, what the numbers look like when you invest a small, modest amount of money, how it actually does really grow into multiple millions over a timeline when it's invested. I think it's a really cool class. If you're interested in joining that, where I actually teach you some principles like that, like the compound interest, and then I show you inside my program. And it's also a way to get the best deal that I offer on my program, Money Bootcamp. If you join through that free class, you get a free one-on-one tax consult. So you can sign up for that free class and get that really good deal, that free consult, by registering for the class at go.sunlighttax.com/register. go.sunlighttax.com/register. That's if you're interested in seeing what my program has inside it, and how it can help you learn things like your basic order of operations for personal finance and dig into each of the elements to get it really taken care of. Whether or not you're interested in that, I am grateful for you listening to this episode to the end. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to be with you next week. See you later. Bye. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm so grateful for that. This video is for education and entertainment only. Nothing in this episode should be taken as individual tax or financial advice. You can find all the tools, books, and links I reference at sunlighttax.com/podcast.